Morning. My name is John. Could you tell me your first name, please? Your full name, please?
Yes, my name is Cristian David Galarzadas.
And what shall I call you?
Well, you can call me Christian. It's okay.
Excellent. In this first part of the exam, I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself. Let's talk about your free time. What do you enjoy doing in your free time?
In my free time, I'm a content creator. So basically, during my free time, this will be my full time job, certainly.
Okay. How much time do you have each week for doing these things?
Okay, I spend a lot of time doing my content, really. I can say that 4 or 5 hours of my day.
Okay. Would you like doing these activities? Why would you like
Mm,
doing these activities?
okay. I want to be a supermodel or an influencer one day. So I like doing because this brings me closer to the future that I want for me.
Okay. How did you start doing this activity at first?
Really, I started with this in August of 2023, specifically 22 of August to this day.
Excellent. Okay, let's move on and talk about being on time for appointments. It's been late, acceptable in your culture?
Well, I was born in La Guajira, the coast of Colombia. Being late is very, very normal in my culture.
Okay. Are you ever late for appointments?
No. When appointments appear, in my case, I try to be very punctual.
Okay. What type of excuses do you think are all right for lateness?
There are no excuses for lateness. This is disrespectful. But if there was an excuse, I only accepted an illness or family calamity.
Okay. How do you feel when someone is late for an appointment with you?
Really disappointed and confused because it's not my way of being.
Okay, excellent. We have finally concluded the first part. Now let's move on to the part two. So, I'm going to give you a topic and I'd like you to talk about for it 1 or 2 minutes. Before you start, we'll give you 1 minute to think about what are you going to say. It. You can make some notes if you want. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Excellent. So I'm gonna give you a minute to prepare yourself. Right.
Okay.
Before we continue, I would like you to describe a beautiful place in your country. Um, you just need to describe a beautiful place to visit in your country. You should say where it is, how to get there, what is to do when you're there, and explain what you recommend this place. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Remember, you have 1 to 2 minutes for this, so you don't worry if I stop you. I will tell you when the time is up. Can you start speaking now? So I'm gonna give you just a minute for now. Okay.
Okay.
All right, I believe time's up. So, can you start speaking now, please?
Yes. Okay,
Excellent.
I start. A beautiful place to visit in my country. Okay, got it. Certainly, in La Guajira, there is a desert with a beach. It's the most magical place in Colombia, for sure. First of all, to go to this place, which is called Cabo de la Vela, you have to go to the capital of La Guajira by plane. Then you take a car for 4 hours to this paradise. In this place, you can slide over the dunes full of sand, sleep under the stars, and know Guajira culture. If you have never seen a desert, it's good and economical opportunity to get to know it, which is why I recommend it.
Okay. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Would you like to go there in the future?
It's strange because I'm from La Guajira and I've never been there, but maybe in the future I would go.
Excellent. Now we have talking about a place that you have recently, a place that you have recently visited. I would like to ask you some more general questions related to this topic. First of all, let's talk about the places and tourism. What do you think people like to travel to different places in their free time?
Well, I think all the people in the world have an animal spirit inside of them. So the adventure and the anxiety to know the world can be a reason to travel to different places in their free time.
Okay. How do you see tourism changing in your country in the future?
I think that maybe with help of artificial intelligence, tourism can be more immersive and less stressful. In my case, I think that sometimes tourism is so stressful.
Okay. What is important to protect the countryside?
Wow, countryside is so beautiful. Protect them is important because I believe that what you give to the earth gives you back to you.
Okay. In what ways is the countryside in danger in your country?
Really, in my country, that countryside is very respectable, and ways to endanger it will be natural disasters or bad practices of the country inhabitants.
Okay. Why are the historic building and momentums important to a city?
I think that the importance of this lies in the fact that we all have a history, and cities much more so. So these old buildings remind us of where we come from.
Thank you. That's the end of the speaking test. With that being said, we're gonna switch roles. Now I'm gonna be the candidate, and you're gonna be the interviewer. So let's begin.
Okay. Well, morning. My name is Christian. Could you tell me your full name, please?
Yes, my full name is Gianfredi Aguirre Cañon. It is a pleasure to meet you.
And what shall I call you?
You can call me John. John's fine.
Okay. Now, in this first part of the exam, I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself. Ready?
I am.
Are you a student or do you work now?
I'm doing both of those things simultaneously. Challenging, but worth it.
What do you study?
I'm currently pursuing my undergraduate degree in system engineering.
Why did you choose this major?
I believe that computer science, both software and hardware, will be determinant in the next years in the labor market. And since I was a child, I've been passionate about programming.
Is there anything about your course or job you would like to change?
I would like to have more time in my career to be able to dedicate to the study of programming with content more in line with the current industry.
Okay. I like to move on and ask you some questions about shopping. Who does most of the shopping in your household?
Normally, my mom takes care of the day-to-day shopping for food and mostly for the hygiene products.
What type of shopping do you like or why?
I like purchases related to personal items such as clothing, games, or anything related to motorcycles. As a motorcycle enthusiast, I find it a lot of fun to be able to buy the new things and fix my bike.
Is shopping a popular activity in your country?
Note that it is considered extremely popular because of the investment in time that it requires. It is necessary to follow because it is necessary to maintain the home.
What type of shops do teenagers like best in your country?
Any type of purchases that has to do with the video games and technology.
Okay. Now let's move on to the second part of the exam. I'm going to give you a topic and I like you talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. Before you start, you will have 1 minute to think about what are you going to say. You can make some notes if you want. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
I would like you to describe an important event in your life. Remember, you have 1 minute. You need to describe an important event in your life. You should say to me when it happened, who you were with, what happened, and explain why you feel it was important. Describe an important event in your life.
Okay.
1 minute. Okay, right. Remember, you have 1 to 2 minutes for this, so don't worry if I stop you. I will tell you when time is up. Can you start speaking now, please?
Yes. When I was a year and a half old, my mother decided that it would be best if we went to live in the USA for a while. She only with me decided to cross over land and land Mexico with me to a point where we we would meet my father. Thanks to this Thanks to this point in my life, I could live my first years of life with my mom and dad in the USA to finally progress my English and to be able to return to Colombia with a better foundation in English.
Okay, thank you. Do you still think about this event often?
Not very often, but it is remembered a lot in my family.
Do you think the other people involved remember this event?
Yes, both my mom and dad. Thanks to this event, my family was able to generate better job stability and start their businesses.
We've been talking about an important event in your life, and I now like to ask you some questions related to this. What days are important in your country?
Um, July the 20th in the Independence Day, August the 7th, the Battle of Boyacá, and many other political events that mark the history of the country.
Why is it important to have national celebrations?
Many of the celebrations speak of times where the country commemorates the courageous actions of many of the people who built the country and brought us to the present time.
How is the way your national celebrations are celebrated now different from the way they were celebrated in the past?
Many of the protocol acts are preserved as the signing of the anthem, but in general, I would say that we are no longer talk so much about how this series of events took place for the celebration of that day.
Are there any celebrations from other countries that you celebrate in your country?
Yes, some more international ones that we ended up adopting in our culture due to the contact with the adjacent cultures. For example, we have Christmas on October the 31st, also called the Day of the Witches.
Thank you. That is the end of the speaking test.
Excellent.